What's up, guys? So welcome over to the channel. There's some previous videos on here. If you haven't already seen those, go check those out. But what I wanted to do today is hop on here. I got some cedar board that have been stashed up for a little while. It's been sitting inside drying out. And I also have two antlers that I've gotten. Got this little guy, this big old guy. But as you can see, I don't have any skull mounts or anything of that nature. So what I'm going to be doing is taking some cedar boards that I got, some plaster of Paris, and these mounts. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out my own little design for the plaque and screw these in with some drywall screws or whatever I come around in the shop, and then make our own little plaque setup, which it's very simple. I'll walk you guys through the process. I'll tell you everything that you need in order to do it. I've watched it done before by my grandfather. I also did a little studying on the old Google there. So it's fairly simple. You just need a few things. First off, you're going to need some plaster of Paris. You can get this at Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, Hobby Lobby, I'm pretty sure has it. Next thing you're going to need is your little design here. This is the design that I'm going with. I got two of them cut out or printed out. One's on just a regular old piece of paper. The other one's on some cardstock right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the cardstock. It's a little thicker, so it's going to be easier to trace out on that cedar board. But if you don't have any cardstock, use some printer paper. It's pretty easy. Or just go out there and draw your own. So it's whatever you guys want to do. The other thing you're going to need is just water, a screw gun, some screws. It's fairly simple. So we're going to get after it. I'm going to go get that cedar board. I'll spin you guys around, get it all cut up, then we'll start drawing that thing out. So we got our cedar board here on our table saw. I don't have enough room to push this whole thing through, so what I'm going to do is get my circular saw and cut it, or I might use my jigsaw. It just depends on what I feel like doing, really. But you could use a hand saw, jigsaw, miter saw, table saw, whatever you got, cut it out. Use whatever board you want. This is just a piece of cedar that I've had stashed up for a little while here. So what I'm going to do first off is I'm going to make sure this thing's wide enough for what I want to do, and I don't have to go and downsize my plaque anymore. So I'm going to get my piece of paper and I'm going to stick it on here, make sure it fits, everything's going to be good, get the dimensions that I need, which I'll relay to you guys, and then we'll get it cut out, carved out, sand it down, and then I think what I'm going to do is take my router and I'm going to route the edges, just kind of give it that little bit of fanciness that most plaques have. So let me get that paper, we'll put it up here real quick. Look, go ahead and cut this out. Just going to take my scissors. It's very, you guys know how to use scissors. I'm just going to go around, right around the edge, the outside edge of this plaque here, or this plaque drawing. Try to stay as close to the edge here as I can without cutting into it. set these back. Alright, so it looks like this board's gonna be just wide enough. Let's see if I can show y'all. So I knew you guys were kind of far away from it, but it's sitting right here on the edge, so that's gonna be good for us. So I'll go ahead and get my pencil, mark all this, get it cut to the size I want it to. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of leeway marking these top corners here, just so I can fluctuate how I want it to sit. So I got a mark sitting right here and a mark sitting right here, and what I'll do is end up putting my straight across, go across, cut this out. So let's get that done. Alright, so as you can see right here, I got my lines made for our little plaque right over there. What I decided I'm gonna end up doing is just taking my jigsaw, and I'm gonna cut those out just because it's rough. It's not the exact same size, and I really don't feel like going breaking out the old circular saw. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these cut for you. Alright, so there it is. We got it all cut out. I don't know if you guys seen anything. I'm kind of doing it from the back side of the, or using the front camera on the iPhone instead of the selfie. So hopefully everything going good so far. But here's our piece that we got. Set these off to the side here. We'll end up using that other piece later. Alright, let's get you guys where you can see a lot better. Alright. Alright, so come back up a little bit, get everything exactly the way I want it. Done sharpened up my pencil. Whoop, whoop. The grain of cedar will catch your pencil, so you want to kind of be careful. Help if I use the right side. All I'm doing is just, instead of going straight down and trying to trace, I'm taking my pencil at an angle and just kind of coloring in along the outside edge. That way, I mean, if you go a little bit off of it, at least you'll have the inside. See, like right here, I did a little line out there, but the rest of it's still showing up. Alright, so that's that. Let's see how that worked out for us. Alright, there you guys go. As you can see, got it all traced out. So now I'm going to take that jigsaw again and I'm going to cut out, not on the line, but close to the line. Cut it out, and then we'll take our sandpaper and get back close to the line. So there it is. It's all cut out and everything. So what we're going to do now is sand it down on both sides and the edges and get it back close to the line as we can. And then we'll pick which side looks the best, and that's the side that we'll use to mount the deer skull. Alright guys, so I took my file and did the outside, got it down to the line. So now I'm going to take my little belt sander here. I'm going to go over the top, get it all smoothed out and prettied up. And if you can see right here, we got a little bit of cracking going on the inside of this. So what I'm going to end up doing is taking some CA glue, putting down in there, spraying it, get it dry hard. And then on the back side, there's another crack there too. So I'm going to do the same thing. After I get it all sanded down, I'll throw that in there, sand it down the rest of the way, and get it all smoothed back out. So let's get the sand in here. Alright, so we got our CA glue and our other half here. So all I'm going to do is take it and any little crack that we got going on here, I'm going to fill it in if anything comes out. Alright, well nothing wants to come out of this one, so let's get our fresh one. This should work, hopefully. Yeah, there we go. So with the CA glue stuff, guys, a little goes a long way. And it dries up fairly quickly without the applicator, or the part B, or whatever you want to call it. What I'm going to do is just push it down in the crack. And I'll take my applicator here, and that's all it takes. We'll throw a little bit more on there. Alright, so now we're going to sand it down the rest of the way. Alright, so now we got all that done. You're still gonna see the crack, but if you think about it, the antler is gonna sit right here and cover most of it. So you'll only see a little bit. It gives it character, I think. Now I'm gonna take some sandpaper, just a little 120, go over the top of it, get some of the little marks out. Before we clear coat this, we're going to put our air compressor and blow all these little cracks and all that out so none of the sawdust stays inside of the wood. So now, let's get our router. We'll route over the top of this. I think I have the bit in there that I'm gonna use already, which I'll show to you guys. But let's see which one I got in here. Yeah, so here's the bit that I'm going to be using. As you can see, I'll throw a little on a test piece of wood so you can see what this bit looks like, but I think that's the one that we're going to go with. I've had the best luck using that one, forgetting how I want it to look. So let me find a test piece of wood real quick. All right, so here we go. I got another little piece of cedar wood here. Get that set up how we want it. Get it plugged in. Alright, so alright, so just kind of give you guys an idea. That's what it'll kind of look like. It'll look a lot better on this big piece when you can see all the way around, but that's just to kind of give you guys an idea what it's going to look like. So let's go ahead, make sure we got this clamped in fairly well, and we'll get to routing here. Let's go around and make sure we're not going to hit the table or anything. We'll have to reset our clamp. These two little orange clamps right here, we'll have to reset those, but it should be fine. So let's go ahead and Alright, so that's what it looks like. As you can see, kind of got a little off right over here and a little bit right in here, but hey, it's homemade. Looks good to me, so we'll get this finished sanded down. We'll sand down this back side, and then we'll kind of hit these edges up right here where it kind of got a little hot. Get it all nice cleaned up. So I'm gonna hop off, do this backside right here, get the edges cleaned up, and then we'll get back on whenever we go to seal it. All right, guys, so what we're gonna be using is just this wipe-on polyurethane. It's a gloss clear. It's gonna be going inside, so there's really no need to do any type of water seal to it. Plus, I mean, cedar's a rot-resistant wood, so you wouldn't need that anyways. But what we're gonna end up doing is just taking our paper towel here. We're gonna open that up, pour it a little on our paper towel, wipe it down. Probably do 2, maybe 3 coats of it. So that's basically what it'll look like almost for the most part right there. We'll probably do, like I said, 2 or 3 coats of that right there. But we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna let that dry up, soak in, and then when we come back, we're gonna stick our antlers on there and start doing our plaster of Paris to kind of get it set up on there. So we'll let this dry, we'll be back after that. Alright guys, so I decided to do something just to kind of add a little bit of character to my plaque here. So I got this file here of a deer, as you guys can clearly see, and I'm gonna laser it onto our my plaque here down at the bottom. It'll just be just under the antlers themselves. So I'm gonna set this up, get it all figured out, put it put right on the laser here, and then we're going to start lasering it. So let's get that done real quick. Alright guys, so I doubt that the camera is actually going to pick up what all is going to happen on there, because this is kind of a bright light. So hopefully it picks it up. If not, I'll try to do something in editing to get it figured out. But we're going to go ahead and start this. Actually, before we start, let's see how long it's going to take. It says it'll take 20 minutes, but here in a minute I'll just throw you guys on a time lapse and we'll go from there. Alright, so that's not doing anything, so we'll go ahead and stop that. Back over here, back over here, back over here. Alright, so let's see. You guys probably didn't see what I was doing, but I was adjusting the wood to the laser instead of the laser to the wood. So we're going to go ahead and see what happens here. That isn't doing anything either. This is the thing about lasers, guys. It's a little finicky getting it situated. Alright, so it's starting to do something. It's not doing exactly what I want, but it's doing what it needs to do. So I'm going to throw you guys on a time lapse where you can watch that, and we'll pick back up when it's done. Alright guys, so we're back in the shop now. I fooled around with the laser. If you shine it just right in the light, you can see it, but other than that, you can't really see that there's a logo in there. For some reason my laser wasn't burning right. I don't know what it is. I'll fool around with it, try to get it figured out, but I think it may be because I put that poly on first and then tried to laser it. We'll try on the next one. But like if you shine the light just right, you can see it. But this is going in my office, so I'm not really too worried about it. So what we're gonna do now is take our antler here, and I'm gonna mark where the antler is gonna sit. I'm gonna somewhat try to center it, and I'm gonna put a mark just on the edge like that. Well, that didn't work. That right there will let me know where to line it up at. I'm gonna draw a line coming straight off. We can line both of those up. And then this mark right here that I just did, the little T, that's where we're gonna drill our hole and put our drywall screw in. So let me get a drill bit real quick. I don't know what size I'm gonna use just yet, but. All right guys, so I jumped ahead a little bit and I took our 5/32 bit here and went ahead and drilled our hole right here. Now something I will let you guys know if you're gonna be doing this at your house is when you take your drill bit and you're going to start drilling, don't try to drill straight vertical right out the gate. Take that bit and angle it like you're going straight down through the top, and the more you go deeper into it, you know, bring your bit back until it pops through at a vertical. If you try to go straight down, you're just going to slide off and it's not going to work out. Another thing is you don't want to take your screw and immediately try to drill your screw straight into the skull cap, because that won't work either. And you also have to be very careful, because as you can see by this one, I have zip ties holding it together. This is that first buck that I killed, and I had it screwed in and on a piece of wood like this, and it had fell and it cracked it straight down, so I had to zip tie it. So you gotta understand that it's very brittle. So what we're gonna do now is get our little impact here. And we're going to go ahead and put that screw in. Line everything back up just like we had it. Get our lines marked up. You don't want to overdo it. You want to go as soft as you can. That way you don't break the skull cap or the board behind it. So I think what I'm going to do now is take 2 more screws and go straight through right here and here and into our backboard here. I have these long guys, but they're going to be too long and they'll poke too far out the back. Right here, I'm just letting the drill bit do all the work. I'm not putting too much pressure down on it. I'm not forcing it in there. I'm just kind of letting the drill bit eat its way down. Just like that. Another thing is I got my drill set to 1 on the speed selector here. That way it's a little bit slower. You put too much pressure, you'll break the skull cap. Make sure we got everything situated. Alright, so we got that. We got stuff in our eyes. Glasses didn't really do much at protecting. So as you can see, we have our 2 screws holding in the bottom here and the one in the top. And it kind of protrudes up here at the top, but that's fine because we can build up that plaster of Paris and it won't look too bad. You see the opening we have right here, you're going to want to shove a whole bunch of plaster of Paris in there and fill that cave up that you got right there. That way it has something to kind of hold everything together. So, we set this back down. What I'm going to do now is go get a bucket with water, get our plaster of Paris all mixed up, and then start putting it up on here. So let me do that. Alright guys, so I got my plaster of Paris here. I got my jug of water out of the jug my wife said I was never going to use. And I got a little PVC cap. This is just what I had laying around. I didn't feel like getting a mixing bowl or wasting a bowl. So what I'm going to do now is kind of fill this thing up to what I think I'm going to need. I'll probably end up needing way more than what I'm putting in here right now. But who knows? I may mix it just right. I may need more. We'll find out whenever we're going. Throw some gloves on. Go ahead and pour some of this water down in there. Goop in our hand here. Like I told you earlier, we're going to fill up the inside of that little crevice we got going on in there. And the good thing about this is you can come back through and you sand all the mess ups that you got when you put it on here. You sand all that off. Alright, so we got that filled up. Now we're gonna, I don't really have a plan of attack here on how I'm doing it. I'm just kind of globbing it on there. Once we get everything all set up, get it all globbed on, then we'll kind of shape it the rest of the way. I think that's kind of our best option, in my opinion. I don't know. All you internet experts will let me know in the comments, I'm sure. So we got a little on our antler there. These gloves got it sticking to me pretty good. It's not really what I expected. I kind of wanted it to be smooth. Come on. Well, these gloves freaking suck. I think that's about how we're going to do it. So as you guys can kind of see, it's a little loppy. I'm gonna let it, stiffen up a little bit more. But all this excess stuff that we got going on right here, on up here and on our antlers right here, once that all dries up, it'll be easy to come right off. So we'll just scrape it off whenever it starts to really dry up. But what we're gonna do now is just kind of let this set up, cure up. I might mess with it a little bit more, but whenever it's fully cured, we'll hop back on here, we'll paint it up, and then we'll finish out this video. Alright guys, so here it is, all finished up. It's all hard now. Like I said, I took a little metal ruler, like this right here, and I just scraped all that excess plaster off, and then took a wet rag and kind of went around it, cleaned it up a little bit. It kind of gotten some cracks up here, which that's fine. It's going in my house, so it's not like I'm selling it to somebody or giving it to somebody, so it doesn't really bother me. It'll probably bother the hell out of some of y'all, but it is what it is. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna wrap around right here on the board, wrap the antlers, and I'm gonna spray it with this spray paint that we got. Kind of like a brown spray paint. It's the brownest spray paint that I got. So that's what we're going to be using. It's kind of almost a tannish brown, but it's what I got, so it's what we're going to use. So I don't feel like going to the store to buy anything else. So we're just going to tape these antlers up about as good as we can. Try to cover most of the antlers so no paint kind of gets on it. Doesn't have to be, you know, grade A painting. Just got to cover it up. Come to think of it, guys, if I would have done this step prior to the plaster of Paris, it probably would have been a little easier, but I didn't think that far ahead. I knew it would come off, so I wasn't too worried about it. Like I said, it's going inside of my house, in my office, so even the wife won't be able to gripe about it too much. Like we said, guys, just wrap it up about as best as you can. You just want to try to minimize the amount of overspray you get on your antlers. about as good as it's gonna get. See how this goes. Be smart and turn that fan off. Alright, that's about as, got a little bit over here. Whoops. Alright. So there it is. Turn this fan back on before I start sweating too dang much. So that's what it's going to look like. A little bit brown. Not as dark as what you would see on most, but it's the darkest that I got. So we're going to go ahead, let it dry up a little bit with this fan, pull the tape off before it gets too dry, and then we'll be good to go. Yeah, so we got it all finished up. It looks decent in my opinion. I mean, it's not a grade A quality, but you know, from 10 foot away and from not my house, it looks pretty daggone good. I mean, looking at the top here, there's some spots where I didn't put any plaster, so again, it kind of looks a little off, but you have to be really looking at it really close to really see that. And if you're in my house looking at it that close and you want to complain about it, you know, you can get on somewhere. So there's still a little bit of white stuff on the antlers here. I mean, I got a little bit over. It's fine. There's a little bit of paint that seeped through the paint right up here at the very top, but hey, it's gonna hang on a wall. I did it myself. And this is just kind of encourage you guys to get out there and do it yourself too, instead of going and buying all the pre-made stuff. If you want something that's gonna look a little bit cooler, you can do it yourself and be proud that you did it yourself, then this is it. You can go do it. I did it. It's pretty simple. You don't have to go as elaborate as I did with the edging here. You can do a square block of wood. You can cut it out with a little saw, bandsaw or jigsaw like you've seen me do it at an angle. It's however you want to do it. But that's going to do it for this one. I appreciate you guys watching. Please like, subscribe, drop a comment if you think it's cool, or give me some critiques or anything like that. I appreciate it, and we'll see you guys on the next one.